Valley Club, the RNG fest in this battle has been called absolutely disgusting, but in this video, we got a solution to help you get through the randomness of this node and unlock Professor X faster. Also, when is the next few levels of ISO 8 purple coming? Got my thoughts, and we're talking about all in this video, and if you're ready for it, you know what to do, Valley Club. Find the like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having an excellent day, and I hope you're ready to unlock Professor X. We went through one of the worst nodes in the Professor X unlock this morning, and in this video we're going to show you what we did. The rest of the nodes are pretty easy. This one has a lot of RNG, but we have the solution for you. Also, ISO 8 purple, level 4, level 5. It's not in the game yet, but I got my predictions on when it's coming. And if you get some value from this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you know as soon as a brand new video goes up. At least 5 pieces of Marvel Strike Force content every single week on this channel. And before we get to the Professor X solution, I do want to remind you guys about the PlayStation 5 giveaway that we're doing for our ValleyFlyin raid channel. There's just 34 hours left as of me recording this. We're doing the drawing at the end of July 8th, so the end of tomorrow. You do need to have a US address for me to ship the PlayStation 5 to you, but no purchase necessary. Make sure you get your entries in if you want to potentially win. But let's go over to Reddit, where brother Lazloey says the Shadow King boss battle is disgusting. Now, coincidentally, in the Intel store, we found the last few pieces this morning for our Liberty characters, so we were able to do this exact node this morning. It was a lot of RNG, but we did get through it, and I do have some tips for you. For what brother Lazloey says, this is the lowest quality RNG BS I've played in recent times. There was never a single moment when I felt that I understand the mechanics of who I should stun, ability block, or kill first. There were times when I felt I was on track and my Emma just fell on her face while my other tune's animations was just going. I managed to 3-star after about 1.5 hours of trying. I have no idea how. I could not give you the advice. The whole thing is a freaking crap show. Now, I suspect, Laszlo, you didn't read the tutorial, because my first time that I went through it, did not read the tutorial. I was like, ooh, this is very hard. Read what is happening, and it is just Shadow King pretty much in that battle. He's gonna clone your entire team. He's gonna go into stealth, and you have to kill the rest of your team. Hopefully you get good at RNG, and this is where the RNG comes in. When your team pops up, it could pop in random places. You want to get a good roll where that all your team is placed next to Shadow King adjacent attacks, and you want to really make use of your adjacent attacks to really try to drop Shadow King. Hopefully before all of your team dies, because if all of your team, or if all the clones die, Shadow King is still there. It's gonna come back. That is what happened in my first run, and you have to do that whole thing again. So the RNG is about getting them to pop up in the right places. If they are all away from Shadow King, you don't have any adjacent attacks, just reset the node. It's gonna be very, very hard unless you're just overpowering it. What Laszlo, we go down, continue. You have to skip the dialogue, watch the loading screen, skip the dialogue, skip the tutorial every single time. I would recommend watching the tutorial at least once. It tells you what you need to do to beat the battle. You do still need to have RNG, but at least you know what you're looking for when every node resets. If you have barred RNG, just go out, go back in. If you have everybody adjacent to Shadow King, that is when you can start to run and hopefully get good RNG of who these characters attack. It's really time to change these kind of events to be less RNG dependent, shift and accommodate quick, less efficient resets if it must be reset so many times. Now, for normal content, I would agree. For this one, I would kind of disagree, because this is kind of a long-term thing. This is going to be their permanent. This is a permanent event. On these limited time events, these events that last for 1 week, 2 weeks, I want it exactly like this. Not as much RNG, quick battles. This is a mobile game, but for this battle, and especially the reward for Xavier, I'm fine with all this RNG. This is annoying. Sorry for the rant. ETA. So, winning with Peggy, Joaquin, Patriot, Emma, and Jean. These are the characters that I went, all 3 diamond except for Joaquin, who's in. I think this is exactly who I had. 3 diamonds, all my characters except for Joaquin. I believe he was either 1 or 2 diamonds. Lineup was Emma, Peggy, Jean, Joaquin, Patriot, Skirmisher, Healer, Striker, ISO 8, Purple 3 respectively. All right, and going into the game, these are my global heroes. It did not upgrade the Thunderbolts, but did upgrade Peggy. She is a striker. I did need to switch up some ISO 8s from how I had them built initially. So Peggy was a striker. She was 3 diamond, and obviously Gear 220. Emma was a fortifier. She was, I believe, she was something else in the beginning. Yeah, so she was a striker also. I think I want to put it back to the striker, but for this trial especially, we had her at fortifier because, yeah, my Emma was dying a lot. So yes, fortifier for Emma, at least for the trials, and then move her back to where you want. Jean Grey Striker, we had her as Striker, 3 diamonds as well. Patriot was something else. We moved him to healer because we wanted some healing. He's a raider, so yeah, we're gonna move him back to raider. But for the Professor X trial this morning, he was a healer, and it didn't work so well when he was not a healer. And last but not least, where is our last character? Falcon Joaquin, also like the poster on Reddit, 2 diamond Falcon Joaquin. We had him as a healer as well. I think he was a healer previously, but now we have 2 healers on the team. So healer, we had a Striker on Jean, we had a healer on Patriot, we had Fortifier on Emma, and then Striker on Peggy Carter. Now the cool thing about the Professor X saga is it's not like Dark Dimension where you're chipping away at enemies. You do need to beat these battles twice. So once you beat it, it's done. You could beat it all in a day, whereas if you screw up, you have to wait 24 hours instead of the normal Dark Dimensions. So we go into the fight. Let's actually go into the fight. Let's skip this part. Let's go into the battle here. Let's choose our characters. We'll go into the battle. We're not going to do a full run here. I'm going to show you the footage from stream this morning, but this is what we used. All right, so this is the important part. So Shadow King, he's grown even more powerful. Any ideas how to stop him? Yes, through any means necessary. So this is the part. Shadow King summons duplicate of your allies. So who he's going to summon is based on who you bring in. So if you bring in some different characters, it's going to be potentially harder or easier. Once summoned, Shadow King becomes stealth and takes reduced damage. So this is actually a pretty good placement here. We don't have the ISO 8s how we had it on the run that we want, that we beat it with, but look at all these adjacent characters to Shadow. Actually, I take that back. We have 3 adjacent characters. I think Jean may be adjacent, but Patriot is not. All right, he becomes stealth, takes reduced damage, and then defeat all the summons that expose Shadow King, damage him before he summons again. So I think this is where I went wrong. I was not able to get enough damage, and he summoned everyone again in my first run. We actually had really good RNG the first run. Didn't read any of these instructions, they just keep trying to beat it, and then eventually swapped the ISO 8s and was able to beat it. So this is what the battle looks like. We're gonna quit out of this battle. This is okay RNG. Actually, I think Jean may be adjacent to Shadow Kings. Yeah, so this is actually decent RNG. If I see something like this, 4 of the characters adjacent, I would do the run. But let's go to the footage from stream this morning, show you exactly what I did and what RNG we had from this battle. Oh, we got a decent grouping. Everybody's grouped right around Shadow King except for Falcon Joaquin. All right, we need to get some good RNG with who they hit now. Got the hood to 4 yellow, nice. I don't think I have the hood unlocked yet. Oh, we got good RNG from the grouping, but not from where they're hitting and who they're hitting. If for some reason we'll kill Shadow King and one of these clones is still in the field, does the battle automatically end, or do we need to have everybody dead? Okay, we're gonna go here on Emma since Jean is stunned. You keep forgetting on a desert demon, I thrive on hot, dry weather. Well, I guess you're living in the best city for the weather you like. All right. Oh man, it's getting a little. We need Falcon Joaquin. We need some healing, Falcon. Heal yourself up, buddy. You can do it. Oh, there's a little healing. I like it. I like it. We're hanging on by a thread here. Look, we're so close to death this whole battle. Wish a tournament didn't count around overall ranking. Yeah, a lot of people do as well. All right, let's, is any death proofs? Only Falcon Joaquin has death proof. Okay, we're getting some adjacent attacks on Shadow King here. Okay. Emma. All right, she's down. All right, we got the main two down. What does this do? Flipping. All right, I think we're gonna get some adjacent targets here. Okay. All right, this is a primer and adjacent. All right, so we're getting some adjacent from Shadow King. Okay, this is AoE. Ability block. Let's get an ability block here. Yeah. He has a lot of turn meter there. All right, that's good. Once all the clones are down, Shadow King is stunned. All right, so all enemies. All right, that's good. We're still hitting Shadow King here. Man, I hope I don't screw this up. We got such good RNG so far. Okay, we took that. We took it pretty good. Let's go here. No, I probably should. I want to go here. I think hitting that guy. I want to keep Patriot alive, so good he says adjacent tags. Okay, we'll hit Patriot when we're getting adjacent targets there. Okay, that healing was actually good for Patriot. No, I need some adjacent attacks here. Is this adjacent? I want to be hitting Falcon Joaquin with our non-adjacent moves. Okay, we're going on her. Ugh, not the best. Keep hitting at the Patriot. All right, maybe that's good. Having 3 enemies instead of 4. All right, yeah, I was thinking of keeping him alive, trying to take out Falcon, but we're not getting the Falcon right now because he doesn't have a taunt on him. All right, maybe now we could go into some adjacent attacks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, we got a taunt there. Okay. This is adjacent, right? All enemies. Okay, Shadow King is in the yellow. Okay. Heal. Okay, this is primer and adjacent, so we'll hit Shadow King here a little. This is primary. Okay. It's also primary. I want to try to get our cooldowns all set before we take out the enemies. Okay, yeah, we're gonna slow primary and adjacents right now. Let's go. This will hit Shadow King. Shadow King's in the red. Okay. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Let's keep slow playing a little bit more. I want a bunch of AoEs. Primary and adjacent. All right, let's go here. Hopefully their Peggy survives this. Oh, we almost got Shadow King. This is AoE, right? Primary and adjacent. All right. Hopefully this takes a death brew. All right, we're good. Heck yeah. We're done. Thank God. So that's what we did to get through the Shadow King section, which I heard from stream was the worst section of this whole Professor X saga. This last section, as long as you're bringing in the good characters like Odin, like Professor X, like Lalandra, and some of these good characters, should be pretty easy. There's no like random RNG of the Shadow King trials. Now, I gotta say, I doing this for a few times, it was annoying. Once I figured out the mechanics and exactly what I'm looking for, I did have fun with trying to find the best RNG for this battle. Let me know what you think of these battles. Personally, like I said, I don't mind these battles being tough and having a lot of RNG because it's a permanent event. You know, there's no time limit for it. The milestones for the red stars for Professor X were limited time, but this is permanent. I would be very upset if this was like a limited time event, a week-long event, or a 2-week-long event that had such bad RNG, kind of like the negative zone. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Am I the minority, or do you agree with me? As we move on to your mailbag question of the week, only one question this week, and I think that's because I was out of town and was a little late with some of the other mailbags. But if you want to get a question for one of these future mailbag videos, which we do on a weekly basis, make sure you join the Discord. The link is down below, and you can go to the mailbag question channel, ask your question there. And the only question of the week is pretty important. Not sure if you're allowed to speculate on this as Envoy. All right, so as far as speculation, Envoys, we can speculate on anything that we don't know. So if we have information that's under NDA, we're not supposed to say it. But if we got the information not from Scopely, maybe from a data mine or something else, we can't speculate on something. So yeah, we were allowed to say anything that we don't know. We could speculate on anything that's pure speculation. If we do know something, can't say it because that would be under NDA. All right. So, but for Professor X, I am hoarding for Fantastic Four, starting to stockpile Gear Tier 20 with the amounts like it feels like they're flying with Gear Tier 20. It feels like Scopely is now moving on to the next power jump. How far off is ISO 8 Tier 3 Level 5? What resources are we holding on to for this? So as far as holding on to any resources, well, if we are getting 4 and 5, well, obviously the purple ions would be good to hold on to, but we would need more crystals. We need no more ISO 8 crystals. If we go and look at a timeline and as far as when we could expect this next few levels of purple ISO 8, well, we go to the blog post when purple ISO 8 was first introduced. That was about a year ago, July 25th, 2024, and that ended up being the unlock for Odin, the second Dark Dimension style chase that we've had in 2024. The first was Mephisto, the second was Odin. So now we have the chase for Annihilus going on, but before the chase for Annihilus, kind of like the pre-chase for Xavier, we might get another character, not in a Dark Dimension, maybe in a Heroic Dimension. I don't know. I thought they would rename Dark Dimension 8 to like Heroic Dimension because Odin's a hero and all the previous characters were villains. Maybe they'll keep the name the same, but maybe we'll have something else coming up with this gear tier requirement. So that was kind of the speculation of a lot of content creators, including myself, that we would have 2 per year. One that we just had, that Professor X, which required gear, and then the other one, kind of like Odin, that would be required your ISO 8 level. So in this case, it would be ISO 8 4 and 5. Let me know. Maybe this is Dark Dimension 9. Maybe this is having some other name, but I do see this is coming very, very soon. And the chase happening for the next big, I was going to say big bad, but not necessarily bad because it could be a hero character. I think the timing of this would be appropriate. A lot of the whales, a lot of the Krakens that already have Professor X have nothing to really chase for. Yeah, Quasar is cool. Annihilus is probably going to be really good when he comes out next year. But as of right now, in the short and medium term, some of the Krakens don't really have a chase, so it would be appropriate to have this announced very, very soon. And it would make sense with all the Gear Tier 20 that they're giving us. As you know, people unlock Professor X, they pay for Professor X. Now it's time to like open up the gear, what is that? Not the gear, but open up the floodgates for Gear Tier 20 to let more people unlock Professor X, and that means that new exclusive character should be coming. So to prepare for this, obviously just save your crystals, save your purple stuff. Don't start putting purple ISO 8 on any non-essential characters. So maybe not any characters that you're not thinking of using within the next month or so. If you are like Fantastic Four, MCU, maybe Accursed, maybe some of these older teams, you can't put them on those characters because they're still required in the meta. But as far as teams that are out of the meta, maybe not putting purple stuff on the Annihilators, maybe not putting it on Spider Society, things like that. So hopefully you got some value from this video, helping you to unlock Professor X a little faster and plan for whatever big, huge mythic character is probably coming later this year, requiring more purple ISO 8. If you did get some value from this video, leave it a like. Make sure you check out the link to the Gleam contest. There's only like a day left to get your entries in for that PlayStation 5. Good luck with all that. Thanks to everyone that left a question for the mailbag. Check out the link to Discord if you want to leave a question for a future mailbag. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. Take care, guys.